Just think of the brain as a muscle, okay? And certain parts of the brain can be weak. So like, for example, if you had a weak biceps muscle, right? And you wanted your biceps to be stronger, are you going to exercise your leg to make your biceps stronger? I mean, you could. I mean, there might actually be some benefit to that, but it may take a long time. Or you could just exercise your biceps. Well, brain areas are the same way. For this girl, lower brainstem not working very well. What lives in the lower brainstem? How can we stimulate that area? We ended up doing what's called vestibular stimulation. We used translational stimulation, put her in a rolling chair and translated her. Basically used what we call vestibular and otolithic stimulation to fire into that brainstem so the brainstem would do its job, so the brainstem would get strong again. And while she was here, this is a girl who was burping like every 2 seconds, right? And passing really malodorous gas because she wasn't making stomach acid. So long story short, while she was here in the span of a day, that all stopped, okay? So that's an example of how you can know the neuroanatomy, know what it does, and when a kid, when the parents say, well, look, you know, my kid is passing gas all the time, she's burping all the time, she has undigested food in her stool. If you're me, you go, well, she's probably not making stomach acid and her lower brainstem probably isn't working. How can we reach into the lower brainstem non-invasively and make it do what it's supposed to do? So for that girl, that's one way that we did that. What's another good example? The more kind of participating the kid, now that girl was very, she was not verbal, she is now, okay? She couldn't really, I couldn't say, okay, stand there and then look at my thumbs, right? She's too active, so it had to be a very passive sort of therapy. Other kids that are a little more, I don't want to say cooperative, but that can participate in it, you can do what's called, there's certain types of eye movements you can get these kids to do. Like, you know, I've got a laser pointer here, right? And you can have them look in certain directions and literally, I know it doesn't seem like, if you don't understand this, you can specifically target which side of the brain you want to activate, right? So if I have a child look quickly from the left to the right, I'm actually targeting the left side of their brain. So without trying to give you all the neuroanatomy, if you know how all this stuff works, then you can say, well, look, if your kid has rocking and stimming, okay, that's called a stereotypy, right? That means their basal ganglia is not working very well. So we can do things to try to make that basal ganglia work differently, including vestibular stimulation, like I was talking about. You know, you can turn kids in chairs, you can translate them, you can do these eye movement exercises, you can make them smell things, right? We can put different colored lenses on them to try to cut down the amount of demand being put on their brain. There's a whole bunch of stuff, but it depends on, you have to be able to recognize where the problem is.